All right, so here we are again, across from Starbucks. And it's HRM Caesar St. Augustine de Buonaparte, the true President of the United States and Emperor of the United States of Turtle Island since October of 1996. So everything the USA has done, including all the elections, have all been illegal. They've been without my approval. Now, that means that I symbolically overthrew the country. I pretty much said it all. The number of my videos that have been on YouTube, more than 200 in 3 years, hasn't, like I said, not one person came forward to help or support. There are people who support me, you might say, symbolically, mentally. They go, oh, well, if I could help you, if I had money, I would help you. But none of them ever get any money. So, or any money that makes that much of a difference. So, but I'm not doing anything different than what Will Rogers was doing with his country bumpkin logic, his Cherokee Indian logic that he used when he was invited to do short comments and little articles in newspapers. Now back then, there was no Bilderberg Group or Trilateral Commission. There were rich guys running around back then, rich guys like Harvey Firestone and Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, and they'd all get together and take group pictures. What's going on there? My teeth are still bad. I'm probably getting worse health problems because there is no real dental help, blanket dental help in California anymore. Of the dental clinics that they say are free dental clinics, there's always some string attached. They don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do cosmetic work, they don't do, well, you know, hell with them. Who needs to stay alive on a planet that is full of people who are contradictory, hypocritical, selfish, self-centered, egotistical? Give a person a badge and they think they're King Kong, and they use that authority to take advantage and abuse other people. But that's the way the planet Earth is set up. From the time they talk about where we came from, supposedly, according to science, primordial ooze and protein chain molecules evolved into bigger and bigger things, and it doesn't matter. Even if the Bible was 100% absolutely accurate, and science was absolutely wrong, and God came and made man from dirt and all of that, and Adam ate the apple, and along with Eve, and all that kind of crap, which actually is, there are related stories in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Moses was brought up Egyptian, not Hebrew, so it goes without saying, where did these guys get these stories about the creation of the world? But if you could compare my stories to Will Rogers, it's like a newspaper clip, only instead of being in newspapers, it's on YouTube. And it's selective. If you choose to watch it, you can. If you don't, that's fine. Most people want to watch, like I said, scantily dressed women, nude, almost nude, sex stuff, and you get millions of views on that, and blood and gore. You get millions of views on Al-Qaeda, blood and gore, all that kind of stuff. Because, see, the Roman mentality at the Colosseum has not been eradicated out of the human species. It's still there, the spectator addiction. You have, I don't have to prove it, it's all around you. Spectator in your car when you're driving, which if you do something wrong, you'll get a ticket. You know, spectator going to the movies, spectator watching television, spectator being on YouTube, watching YouTube and surfing the net, spectator sports. Spectator going to baseball, football, hockey games, basketball. I mean, you could go on. But it all boils down to back to two things. Even if God had created the universe and planet Earth, and that was it's God's only intention, how do you explain that the same positive and negative that is supposedly proven by science with the primordial ooze thing, that it's one creature, bacteria, or whatever, taking advantage and reaping benefits off of another? Not sharing benefits, taking benefits generally. Oh, there are situations where things are shared, but there's still a slight bend in that usage. There should be really a law against lifestyle prejudice, because lifestyle prejudice exists when people attack you because they don't understand you, or because they don't like what you possess, because they think you're a dirty person and that you have dirty house and that you have dirty cars and trucks, and they come after you over and over again until they rape everything from you and take everything from you. They don't give you a chance to... there are people that will argue opposing to what I'm saying. They'll say, well, you had plenty of time. Who are you to judge how much time I need to be successful? Who the hell are you, or who the hell are any of you to interrupt, impede, commit lifestyle prejudice on me, and then take everything I have? And contribute to stealing the young years of my life, all of them, while you people continue to do your spectator addictive habits. You know, why do people slow down on a freeway when they see an accident? They're all rubber knickers, nick stretchers. They're trying to see the blood and gore. Like Evel Knievel, when he said, you people haven't come here to watch me perform. You've come here to watch me splatter. And that's generally true. And they did one day over Caesar's Palace when he came off the bike. And so, the world according to who? The world according to contradiction? The world according to maniacal, fanatical actions? And 1 minute you're peace, the next minute you're being harassed. 1 minute you're peace, the next minute you're harassed. 1 minute you're at war, the next minute you're not. Sounds like bipolar, serious, bad bipolar activity to me. 1 minute you're at peace, something negative happens or something uncomfortable happens, okay? And you're arguing with a person. Somebody scratched your car or bumped into your car, and you're arguing with the person. And you're going on and on and on and on. And I'm going on and on too. On YouTube. What good is it doing me? 2 views, 10 views, 20 views, 30 views, 300 views. The only views I got were a lot of people that probably are thinking of stealing another idea from me. Someone who's maybe got connections, better connections, and they're certainly not going to give me credit. My oil barge, tanker, the oil barge, oil tanker, spherical oil barge. I got more than 300 views on that, but that's over a period of time. That I'm not talking hindsight. I say that in the movie BP Oil Conspiracy. It's titled that on YouTube. If, in fact, my idea had been taken up and I'd arranged to sign the first trial run, the first experimental model of a spherical oil barge and how it works, and a spherical, and later to come a spherical supertanker, or a spherical barge involved supertanker, then I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have lived the path of the feet my path were on would have been completely changed. And I'm sure I would have made a lot of mistakes with the millions of dollars I would have signed with the first contract with whatever shipping company was going to build the ships, experimental ships, the way I was suggesting they be built in order to safeguard our oceans. I don't see Kevin Costner, you know, a BP oil conspiracy. I don't see him paying attention to any of my things that I've gone through. I don't see anything. What I see are people destroying my life. That's what I see. People are cold, callous. They may smile at you, but they don't care. Yesterday I goofed and I did a 15-minute recording and I pressed the wrong thing and that was gone. And then 3 more videos were aborted, being uploaded. I don't know where that came from. I didn't do any of that. I've said it so many times, you know, in this country it's very contradictory and hypocritical. If someone violates your civil rights, anyone in authority or even a citizen that has the same status that you do, which is just a citizen, you'd have to sue them, sue the government, sue whoever, file a case. In order to do that, even if you filed a pro bono form of pauperis, they call it, which means your fee waiver is exempt, you then have to find a lawyer that'll help you with it. You could find maybe a paralegal, but you'll still have to represent yourself in court. But even if you could do that, it's years and years for you to get some kind of justice and be heard before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not enough. As a presidential candidate, the Supreme Court needs to be changed. The legislative branch needs to be radically changed. The executive branch needs the same kind of radical changes. And when I say changes, I mean changes that will produce a better blanket of security for what all these other candidates that claim they represent. What any of the ideas that they have proposed, it doesn't matter whether it's the mainstream or minor candidates, they're no good. They don't have the same multitask thinking that I have. None of them do. Not even Obama, as well as he talks, as everybody says he talks. Who cares about how a person talks? They can sway you this way and say that was like listening to a lullaby. Lullaby. When Obama talks, it's lullaby, lullaby, da 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 da. He wants you to go to sleep. The only time he doesn't want you to go to sleep, an incumbent especially, is when they want you to re-elect them. But see, it's all fixed. It's the Electoral College and the 50 states. You know, if a state decided to go one time, many years ago, a few decades ago, the state of Nevada decided to lock horns with the federal government. They said, we want to up our highway speed in Nevada. We want to go because they were trying to save gas. You save more gas by going 55 miles per hour because of the weight distribution in the car and everything else included. Keeping a 55 mile per hour speed limit, especially on any long distance, you'll save more gas, use less, than you would if you're doing 65, 70, 75, 80, and 90. I don't care what the car companies claim have changed up to now. It's still the same rule. Physics dictates that, okay? So they took and put up their 65 mile per hour speed limit, The federal government cut off their funds. The next day, they were taking those signs down and putting the 55 back up. So this is how strong the federal government can get when you decide to interlock horns with them. So if an individual interlocks horns with them, and they threaten to be a national institution overnight, because people are all of a sudden saying, you know, we've seen this guy, he's been depressed, he's been hurt, His teeth are bad. He blames all of us for all of this. And you know what? True intelligent beings would say, you know, Caesar's got a point. This is wrong. You can't steal a person's young years. That should not be allowed because of some eyesore fanatic in a neighborhood or some crappy person who thinks that they should appoint themselves God and jury and judge over a person whose trucks they don't like on the street, whether it's in residential or commercial area, and they slash your tires hoping that that will slow you down so that they can the tow companies can tow away your thing, and there'll be so much money to get it back that they'll never see you on the street again. See, this is what happened to me. One of the many abusive things that happened to me. I didn't see the FBI or the federal government come to my rescue. No, instead they called the U.S. Army out on James Meredith, who, you know, the National Guard is there at the college to make sure he can walk into that all-white school and get the same college education all the other white people are getting. That's what I call misplaced loyalty. Not loyalty to the person, not loyalty to the race. Loyalty to your high-sounding words about equal justice, equal liberty, equal all of that garbage. Because it is garbage until you make it happen. Until you create a solid, hard, absolute, unbreakable symmetry of what your high-sounding words say in the Declaration of Independence, which is not law, by the way, and the Constitution and its Bill of Rights, and your several your 50 state constitutions, until you can work a symmetry, stone hard, absolutely unattackable, that's when you've got equal justice, equal freedom, and so on.